Have you ever reached the end of the day and wondered where all your time went? Hours disappear scrolling social media, worrying about things you can't control, or chasing the approval of people who barely think about you. But the Stoics believed that time is the only thing you can never earn back. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself that every day could be his last, and that thought changed the way he lived. In this video, you'll discover the 5 things Stoics never waste their time on, and how these timeless principles can help you take control of your life before another day slips away. Let's begin. Part 1. They never waste time worrying about what they can't control. Have you ever noticed how much of your day is spent worrying about things that haven't even happened yet? Maybe you're thinking about whether someone likes you, whether you'll succeed in the future, or whether life will go according to your plans. The truth is, most of these worries are about things you cannot control. And according to the Stoics, this is one of the biggest ways people waste their time. More than 2,000 years ago, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus shared a simple but life-changing idea. He taught that some things are within our control and some things are not. Our thoughts, our actions, our choices, and our attitude belong to us. But other people's opinions, unexpected events, the weather, the economy, or the past are outside our control. The moment we stop trying to control what isn't ours, life becomes lighter. Think about it for a moment. Imagine you're preparing for an important job interview. You can prepare your answers, dress professionally, arrive on time, and give your best effort. But can you control the interviewer's final decision? No. If you spend days worrying about whether they'll choose you, you're wasting energy on something you can't change. The Stoic approach is simple. Focus on giving your best, then accept the outcome with calmness. Marcus Aurelius practiced this mindset every day. As the ruler of the Roman Empire, he faced wars, betrayal, disease, and endless challenges. Yet instead of wasting time complaining about circumstances, he reminded himself that his responsibility was to respond with wisdom and self-control. He understood that peace doesn't come from controlling the world, it comes from controlling yourself. Now think about your own life. How often do you replay old conversations in your mind, wishing you had said something different? How often do you worry about what someone might think of you? The past cannot be changed, and other people's thoughts are not yours to manage. Every minute spent on these worries is a minute taken away from your real life. This doesn't mean Stoics ignore problems. They simply separate action from worry. If a problem can be solved, they take action. If it cannot be changed, they choose acceptance instead of endless anxiety. Worry without action changes nothing. Action without worry changes everything. Here's a simple habit you can start today. Whenever you feel anxious, ask yourself one question. Is this within my control? If the answer is yes, take one small action immediately. If the answer is no, practice letting it go. This single question can save you countless hours of unnecessary stress. Remember, every moment spent worrying about things beyond your control is a moment stolen from your dreams, your relationships, and your peace of mind. The Stoics believed that your time is too valuable to waste on battles you were never meant to fight. Instead, invest your energy where it truly matters, your character, your decisions, and the actions you take today. As we move to the next lesson, you'll discover another habit that silently steals people's time and happiness: the constant need for everyone else's approval. I'd recommend making this section around 4 minutes long as well to keep the pacing consistent. Part 2. They never waste time seeking everyone's approval. Have you ever changed your opinion just to avoid criticism? Or stayed silent because you were afraid of what others might think? So you're not alone. One of the greatest traps in modern life is the constant need for approval. We often measure our worth by the opinions of strangers, friends, or even people who barely know us. But the Stoics believed that living this way is one of the fastest ways to waste your time and lose your peace of mind. Imagine trying to make every single person happy. No matter how kind, talented, or successful you are, someone will always disagree with you. Someone will misunderstand your intentions, criticize your choices, or simply dislike you for reasons beyond your control. If your happiness depends on everyone approving of you, you'll spend your entire life chasing something you can never fully achieve. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus warned that when you seek approval from others, you become their prisoner. Every compliment lifts you up, and every criticism tears you down. Your emotions are no longer in your own hands, they belong to other people. A Stoic refuses to give away that kind of power. Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the greatest empires in history, yet he was criticized throughout his life. Instead of trying to silence every critic, he focused on living according to his values. He understood that character is more important than reputation. Reputation depends on other people's opinions. Character depends on your own actions. Think about social media today. People spend hours checking likes, reading comments, comparing themselves with others, and worrying about how they appear online. But none of these things define who you truly are. They are temporary. The Stoics would remind us that your real value comes from honesty, discipline, courage, and kindness, not from applause. This doesn't mean you should ignore advice or refuse to learn from criticism. Wise feedback can help you grow. The difference is knowing whose opinion truly matters. Listen to people who genuinely want the best for you, but don't let random judgment control your decisions. Here's a simple question to ask yourself whenever you're afraid of being judged. Am I doing what is right, or am I only trying to be liked? That single question can completely change the way you make decisions. When you stop chasing everyone's approval, something remarkable happens. You become more confident. You speak more honestly. You make better decisions because they're guided by your principles instead of your fears. Most importantly, you recover countless hours that would have been wasted worrying about what others think. The Stoics believed that your life belongs to you, not to the opinions of strangers. So instead of asking, "Do people approve of me?" start asking, "Can I respect the person I am becoming?" That's the question that truly matters. In the next part, we'll explore another habit Stoics avoid at all costs: wasting time complaining instead of taking action. I keep this section at around 4 minutes so it matches the rest of your video. Part 3. They never waste time complaining. Have you ever caught yourself complaining about your job, the weather, traffic, difficult people, or simply how unfair life feels? Complaining can become such a habit that we don't even notice we're doing it. It feels like we're releasing stress, but in reality we're often feeding it. The Stoics believed that complaining is one of the greatest thieves of time because it focuses our attention on problems instead of solutions. Think about this for a moment. Every minute spent complaining is a minute that could have been used to improve your situation. Complaints rarely change reality, but your response to reality can change everything. This is why Stoic philosophy teaches us to replace emotional reactions with thoughtful action. The Roman philosopher Seneca once explained that we suffer more in our imagination than in reality. Many of the things we complain about are temporary inconveniences, yet we allow them to dominate our thoughts for hours or even days. The Stoics understood that life will never be free of obstacles. Instead of asking for an easier life, they trained themselves to become stronger. Imagine waking up to heavy rain on the day you planned an outdoor activity. Most people immediately complain. They blame the weather, feel frustrated, and let the entire day be ruined. But ask yourself, does complaining stop the rain? Of course not. A Stoic accepts the situation, adjusts the plan, and continues moving forward. They understand that reality doesn't change because we dislike it. Marcus Aurelius faced challenges far greater than most of us will ever experience. He dealt with war, political conflict, betrayal, and deadly disease. Yet, in his personal writings, he constantly reminded himself not to waste energy complaining. Instead, he focused on the only thing he truly controlled, his own character and response. This doesn't mean Stoics ignore pain or pretend everything is perfect. They feel disappointment just like everyone else. The difference is that they don't stay trapped in it. They ask a different question. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What can this situation teach me?" That simple shift transforms every obstacle into an opportunity for growth. The next time you feel like complaining, pause for a moment and ask yourself, "Can I solve this problem?" If the answer is yes, take action. If the answer is no, accept it and move on. Complaining without action only drains your energy, while action without complaining builds confidence and resilience. Imagine how much time and peace you would gain if you stopped feeding every frustration with negative words. Your mind would become calmer. Your relationships would improve because people are naturally drawn to those who focus on solutions rather than problems. Most importantly, you would free yourself from the endless cycle of negativity. The Stoics believed that every challenge carries a hidden lesson. Difficult moments are not interruptions to life. They are part of life. Every obstacle is a chance to practice patience, courage, wisdom, and self-control. As we continue, you'll discover another habit Stoics refuse to waste their time on: living without purpose and allowing distractions to control their lives. I'd make this section around 4 minutes as well to maintain a smooth flow throughout your video. Part 4. They never waste time living without purpose. Have you ever reached the end of the day feeling busy but strangely unfulfilled? You answered messages, watched videos, scrolled through social media, and completed a few small tasks. But when you looked back, it felt like nothing truly mattered. This is one of the greatest traps of modern life: being busy without being purposeful. The Stoics believed that a life without purpose is a life where time quietly slips away. For the Stoics, every new day was a gift and a responsibility. They didn't wake up asking, "What do I feel like doing today?" Instead, they asked, "What is the right thing to do today?" This simple change in mindset gave direction to every action they took. They understood that purpose is not about being famous or wealthy. It's about becoming a better person every single day. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that he was born to do meaningful work. Even as the Emperor of Rome, he refused to waste his days on laziness or unnecessary distractions. He believed that each person has a role to play in life, and every day is another opportunity to fulfill that role with honesty, discipline, and courage. Now think about your own routine. How many hours disappear without you even noticing? One short break becomes an hour of scrolling. One episode turns into an entire evening. Days become weeks, and before you know it, valuable time has vanished. The danger isn't just losing time, it's losing direction. The Stoics believed that your attention is one of your most valuable possessions. Wherever your attention goes, your life follows. If you constantly give your attention to meaningless distractions, your life slowly becomes filled with meaningless results. But if you focus your attention on learning, improving your health, building strong relationships, and developing your character, your future begins to change. Living with purpose doesn't mean every minute must be productive. Rest is important. Spending time with family, enjoying nature, or relaxing after hard work also has purpose. The difference is being intentional instead of simply drifting through life without thinking. Here's a simple habit you can start today. Every morning, ask yourself one question: what is the most important thing I can do today? Write down just one meaningful goal and commit to completing it before the day ends. This small habit creates clarity and keeps you focused on what truly matters. The Stoics also believed that your purpose should be guided by your values, not by comparison. Don't chase someone else's definition of success. Build a life that reflects your own principles. A person who knows why they wake up each morning is far less likely to waste their time on distractions that lead nowhere. Remember, time is limited, but purpose gives every moment value. You don't need a perfect plan for the next 10 years. You only need to make today's choices meaningful. Every small action, repeated consistently, shapes the person you become. In the final part of this video, we'll explore the last habit Stoics never allow to steal their lives: procrastination. The silent thief that convinces us there's always more time, until one day there isn't. I'd make the final section around 4 to 5 minutes and end with a memorable conclusion and call to action. Part 5. They never waste time delaying what matters. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll exercise. Tomorrow I'll read that book. Tomorrow I'll begin working on my dream." But tomorrow has a strange way of becoming next week, next month, or even next year. The Stoics believed that procrastination is one of the greatest enemies of a meaningful life because it quietly steals the only thing we can never recover: our time. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning that he was born to do the work of a human being. He refused to let comfort become an excuse. When he didn't feel like getting out of bed, he challenged himself with a simple question: Was I created only to sleep and seek comfort? Or was I created to contribute and fulfill my purpose? This mindset pushed him to act even when motivation was low. The truth is, most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they keep waiting for the perfect moment. They believe they'll begin when they have more confidence, more money, more time, or better circumstances. But the perfect moment rarely arrives. The Stoics understood that action creates confidence, not the other way around. Imagine a farmer who waits for perfect weather before planting his seeds. If he keeps waiting for ideal conditions, the season will pass, and there will be no harvest. Life works the same way. If you keep waiting until everything feels perfect, opportunities will quietly disappear. Seneca once warned that while we postpone life, life itself continues moving forward. Every sunrise is a reminder that another day has been given to us, but every sunset reminds us that one day has already been spent. This isn't meant to make us afraid. It is meant to inspire us to live with urgency and purpose. The Stoics didn't believe in rushing through life. They believed in using each day wisely. Even small actions matter. Reading just a few pages every day can finish dozens of books over the years. Exercising for 20 minutes each day can completely transform your health. Saving a little money consistently can build financial security. Great achievements are usually the result of small actions repeated over time. If there's something important you've been putting off, ask yourself this question: what's the smallest step I can take today? Maybe it's writing one paragraph, making one phone call, organizing one workspace, or spending just 10 minutes learning a new skill. Small progress is always better than endless planning. As we come to the end of this journey, let's remember the 5 lessons the Stoics lived by. They never wasted time worrying about what they couldn't control. They never chased everyone's approval. They refused to waste energy complaining. They lived with purpose instead of drifting through life. And they never waited for the perfect moment to act. These principles have guided people for over 2,000 years because human nature hasn't changed. We still face fear, distraction, uncertainty, and self-doubt. But we also have the same choice the Stoics had, to focus on what truly matters. Imagine a farmer who waits for perfect weather before planting his seeds. If he keeps waiting for ideal conditions, the season will pass, and there will be no harvest. Life works the same way. If you keep waiting until everything feels perfect, opportunities will quietly disappear. Seneca once warned that while we postpone life, life itself continues moving forward. Every sunrise is a reminder that another day has been given to us, but every sunset reminds us that one day has already been spent. This isn't meant to make us afraid. It is meant to inspire us to live with urgency and purpose. The Stoics didn't believe in rushing through life. They believed in using each day wisely. Even small actions matter. Reading just a few pages every day can finish dozens of books over the years. Exercising for 20 minutes each day can completely transform your health. Saving a little money consistently can build financial security. Great achievements are usually the result of small actions repeated over time. If there's something important you've been putting off, ask yourself this question: what's the smallest step I can take today? Maybe it's writing one paragraph, making one phone call, organizing one workspace, or spending just 10 minutes learning a new skill. Small progress is always better than endless planning. As we come to the end of this journey, let's remember the 5 lessons the Stoics lived by. They never wasted time worrying about what they couldn't control. They never chased everyone's approval. They refused to waste energy complaining. They lived with purpose instead of drifting through life. And they never waited for the perfect moment to act. These principles have guided people for over 2,000 years because human nature hasn't changed. We still face fear, distraction, uncertainty, and self-doubt. But we also have the same choice the Stoics had, to focus on what truly matters. So before you leave this video, ask yourself one final question. Which of these 5 habits is stealing the most time from my life? Choose just one and begin changing it today. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. One better decision today leads to another tomorrow, and over time, those small decisions create an extraordinary life. If you enjoyed this video and found these Stoic lessons valuable, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss future content. Share this video with someone who could benefit from these timeless principles. Remember this, time is your most valuable possession. Spend it on what makes you wiser, stronger, and closer to the person you were meant to become. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.